Man, they be calling me, man. Come on, brother.
Yeah. So what's been on my mind is this concept of, relationship. And in an earlier conversation, you were talking about, relationships with women, business relationships. And I remember in that conversation just thinking to myself, like, yo, you know, I'm in whatever situation or whatever situations I've encountered in my life, in regards to relationships. I've encountered them because I didn't establish one of the first relationships, right? Which is relationship with the Most High. And in previous conversations with you in that piece that, I wrote on the calling, where I'm realizing that it's about restoring our broken and fractured relationship with God.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And so if we continue to venture into relationships when we have failed to mend the damage that we have done in the primary relationship, which is one's relationship with God, then you're going to take that brokenness into almost every relationships that you encountered,
Yes.
right? And that's what in reflecting on that conversation, that's what kind of came to me. It's like, yeah, we're gonna have difficulties, right? Because the first relationship one should have is with self. And when I say self, I can't think of self without not connecting it to God.
Yes.
Right? Because I didn't create myself. I'm not responsible for my being, right? There's something greater than me that's responsible for me. So whenever I say self, to me, that's automatically include the living God, right? And so a lot of us have fractured, damaged relationships with self and trying to venture into other relationships with other people to fix one brokenness. But only God could do that.
Yes. I mean, I look back at my life, man. You hit it square on, man. Every issue I had with quote unquote relationships with women, I can't even blame them, man. I can't even blame them. It was me. Literally, as I came to know the Most High, as I came to know the Messiah, I literally still was caught up in the world. I literally was a double-minded man, unstable in all my ways. So here I am sitting in a foundation with relationships I was entering, or not even relationships. It might have just been relations, but I wasn't the man of the Most High God that I was seeking to be, proclaiming to be. I was getting caught up in the world, getting caught up in the flesh. And so no wonder that I was getting back what I was reflecting. I was getting back confusion. I was getting back sometimes anger. I was getting back a lack of loyalty, because here I am saying I profess a love and a connection, but I didn't have the discipline and obedience with the number one relationship that we should be having as human beings, and particularly us as men. Man, it would be so much easier, right? It would be so much easier, because it wouldn't even be about like, oh, I got to get with this person, I got to get this person. We would have the benefit of wisdom, aka discernment, that if somebody was to come in our path, a woman was to come in our path, we would literally be able to detect, yo, I don't even want her in my existence. I don't want her as an associate. I don't want her as a homegirl or a friend, much less as a lady friend or my lady or my wife. If we truly was in line, You know what I mean? And then this whole controversy today of, submissiveness. I think many of us men get it wrong. Many of us men get the concept of it wrong. So no wonder why we have our women like, I ain't spending no man, I ain't spending no man. Like literally, if we were in line and we were submitting to the mission of the Most High, then yeah, 99% of these women ain't gonna be submissive to you and the program that you're laying out because you're not even submissive or submitting to the mission of the Most High. So you're not even going to be positioned to find a Proverbs, what is a Proverbs 31, 10 to 31 woman. You're going to be always caught up, and I've been in my life, the Proverbs 1 through 3 woman, where literally it's the mom of King, I think it was Lemuel, and we'll have the scripture in there, but I think it was the mom of King Lemuel that said, do not waste your strength on women, your vigor on those who ruin kings. We sometimes get caught up in this worldly nonsense in terms of confusing what love and lust is. We get caught up in terms of submitting to our flesh and then wonder why they're not submitting to us because we're not submitting to who we should be submitting to. And when I figured that out, I'm like,
I,
okay. You know what I
I
mean?
add to that,
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
can,
Mm-hmm.
they're not supposed to submit to you.
Mm.
They're not supposed to submit to you. They
Well, not me,
submit
but the mission. The mission.
to the exactly,
Yes, the mission.
exactly the
But we
mission.
represent the mission. If we're reflective of the Most High, then yeah, they're going to be submitting to the concept that we are doing, that we are preserving. But yeah. But I understand. Yeah.
No, no. I mean, that's we're saying the same thing,
Okay.
because it's like, yeah, um, everything is for the sovereign, the
Mm,
only sovereign, and
yes.
so if she's submitting to you, then you have become her idol, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And you just a bill. You have ears but can't hear, eyes and can't see. You
Mm,
know, you can't do anything for her, right?
yeah.
Likewise, a lot of us men, including myself, we have made the woman our idol,
Yes.
right? And now she becomes Bill,
Exactly.
right? Because when you find yourself in a real tight situation, you're looking for her to help lead you out of it, right?
Mm, mm,
But she can't lead you out of it, so she becomes Bill. She has ears, but she can't hear you.
yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? She
Yeah.
she have eyes, but she can't see the pain that you feel because only God could do that. And
Yes.
so,
Yes.
um, in what I've come to understand, just reflecting on my past experiences and current experiences and so on and so forth, is the feminine and masculine energy is out of whack. It's out of whack,
Mm,
and you see it in the manifestation of relationships,
mm,
and it's out of whack because it's supposed to be rotating right around the creator, right?
yes.
The masculine is supposed to serve the will of the creator. The feminine is supposed to serve the will of the creator. And together they serve the will of the creator. You see, everything is about the will of the creator, but masculinity has been hijacked,
Yes.
right? It's been hijacked. And there's a narrative as to what a man should be. And that man, that image of manhood is based in the world. But it makes sense because it came from the world,
Exactly.
right? Likewise, femininity is also being hijacked right now. It's this wicked move to hijack it. In fact, it's been
Mm,
hijacked for a very long time, right?
yes.
The beauty industry is over $1 billion a year, and that's based on telling women what womanhood is. What
Hmm.
makes her beautiful, right? Um, and so those two principles, those two creating principles, you see what I'm saying? Because nothing comes, nothing, and I'm safe in saying nothing physically manifests without the principle of the masculine and the feminine,
Yes.
right? Nothing. And so what we have done, we have created an atmosphere in which the world have hijacked those creative principles for its own capitalist gain, economic
Hmm.
gain. And so what man and woman are dealing with is an unnatural energy that exists between them. It's this unnatural tension,
Mm.
right? And therefore, it becomes very challenging for us to create because this tension. If you look at how life is created, it's created in love. It's created in season, right? Nature, most animals, they give birth in season, and when you look at when you truly understand sex, lovemaking, right? That's exactly what it is. It's the art of making love, right? Because it's the platform through which life comes about, right? But when you look at how we have perverted that, it
Mm.
just tell you to a great extent how dysfunctional, right, the society is because the two creative principles have pretty much close to no idea they role that they play and how to play their role that they were meant to play.
Yeah, but Jimmy, man. Yo, man, the pootie thing be calling me, man. It be calling me, man. Come on, brother.
Yeah, we have a close friend, both of us, HUL, and he said, "Don't go chasing invisible wealth," you know, and and that's what the punani is. It's that invisible wealth. It's I'm gonna get in trouble. But it's Toni Morrison. She wrote a book called
Mhm.
Sula, and that book is a very good book. I think I read it when I came out of high school, and the part of it that stuck with me was this: friend, no, when Sula slept with her friend's husband, right? If I remember the story correctly, the whoever the narrator was,
Was it Maury
it
Povich?
pointed to the fact, huh?
Was it Maury Povich?
I'm not sure,
I'm
but it
joking,
pointed
man.
to the. Yeah, I don't remember who the narrator was, but it pointed to the fact that the friend was upset. You see, what happened was when they were younger, they would share everything, right? They would share everything. So Sula went away to college and I think she went to Chicago, like a big city, and came back to this small town. I forgot where the story took place. And the friend now was married, and Sula slept with her husband. And the friend was, as you could imagine, was upset because it's like you don't do that, But to Sula, she couldn't understand. It was like we shared everything, you know. Me sleeping with your husband is just one of the many things that we share. Um, and the book alluded to the fact that basically what Sula did as to why the friend was kind of upset was that now the husband come to realize that there's no difference between what's between her leg and what's in Sula's
Mm.
legs.
Mm.
Right? Where am I going with this? If as the masculine principle we are lured by the punani, then you're gonna find yourself at the end drained and almost emasculated, left with absolutely nothing, right? Because you're going from one to the next to the next to the next, but at the end of the day, I don't want to say it's all the same, but you're not gonna find much difference. The difference is not what's in between the leg. The difference come in the woman and what she has to offer in terms of her feminine energy.
That's the key.
You know, and so yeah, let it call. But what else is it offering?
Join the conversation by sharing your thoughts in the comments.
Be well and be blessed.